In this tutorial, I'm going to first of all show you how to set up and use MyFitnessPal so you can accurately and consistently track your daily nutrition. And then I'm going to show you a few handy tips of how to make the daily process of tracking your calories much easier and far less time consuming. Before we start though, it's worth pointing out that I'm showing you all of this on an iPad. If you're using an Android or a laptop, then the layouts may be slightly different, but the functionality will always be the same. So once you've downloaded and installed MyFitnessPal onto your device, you first need to sign up and create an account. All you need to do is follow the on-screen instructions, but make sure you only sign up for a free account. You don't need a premium paid account to be able to track your calories. Once you're signed up, log yourself in and then you will see this home page. Now at the top of the page here you will see the suggested daily calorie target that MyFitnessPal suggests you aim for each day in order to achieve your goal. This is based on the personal information that you enter when you sign up. However, in my experience and in my opinion, this figure isn't always the most appropriate, so the first thing you should do is change this daily target to the nutritional guidelines I've already set for you. To do this, all you need to do is click on More and the three dots in the bottom corner, scroll down and open your settings. From here, you want to open your profile, and then at the bottom of the page, click on Goals. Then finally, click on Calorie, Carbs, Protein and Fat Goals. From here, you'll now be able to edit your daily calorie target as well as edit your macronutrient targets too. Simply click on the figure next to calories and enter the daily calorie target that I've set for you. So just as an example, I'm going to change this to 2,500, and then to save, you just click the tick button. Now for the macronutrients, sadly you can't write in a specific numerical target. Instead, you need to adjust the percentage wheels to get the figures as close as possible to those that I've set for you. Always start with your protein first and get this as close as possible, as this is the most important macronutrient that you should be focusing on each day. So let's say I've been set a target of 200 grams of protein. As you can see, if I select 30%, this will give me a target of 188 grams, or 35% will give me a target of 219 grams. Because 188 is closer to my actual target of 200, I'm going to select 30%. Next, you want to be changing your carbohydrate target. So let's say I need to be aiming for 250 grams of carbs. Luckily, as you can see here, if I select 40%, it gives me a target of exactly 250, so I'll just select that. And then finally, for your fats, all you need to do is change the percentage so the total percentage equals 100. You can see here that at the moment it's down at 90, so by moving this up to 30%, the total now turns green and shows 100%. Then again, click the tick button and it will save. Keep clicking the back arrow and then click home in the bottom left corner to go back to the home page. You can now see that my daily calorie target at the top of the page has been changed to 2,500. Another aspect you may want to change is the amount of meals in your diary. Your profile has 4 preset meals of breakfast, lunch, dinner and snacks. So if that's what you normally have most days, then you won't need to change anything. But if you normally have more than 4 snacks and main meals each day, then it would be a good idea to edit your diary accordingly. To change this, click on More and the 3 dots again, and then Settings. Click Diary Settings and then Customize Meal Names. So for me, I have 3 main meals and 3 snacks each day, so that's a total of 6 meals. Therefore, I'd need to add 2 extra meals to the original 4. To do this, all I need to do is click on the faded text below where it says Snacks and type in a name for that new meal. I'm going to call this one Mid-Afternoon Snack. And then I'll do the same for the final space at the bottom. Here I'm going to type Evening Snack. And then if you wanted to rename any of the other meals, you do exactly the same. Just click on the existing name and edit the text. So I'm going to change snacks to mid-morning snack, like so. And that's my 6 meals all set up and named correctly. And don't worry if on some days you don't need all the meal spaces, you can just leave them blank if, for example, you miss a snack. The next thing I want to go over is the use of MyFitnessPal to track your daily exercise. You can do this, but personally, I'd recommend you don't. Let me explain why. The way MyFitnessPal uses your exercise data is that it tells you that you can eat more calories when you burn more calories. Whilst this might be true to a certain extent, it doesn't quite work as black and white as MyFitnessPal would calculate. So if I add 60 minutes of running, for example, which it works out as being 933 calories, you can see that it adds 933 calories to my previous daily target of 2,500 and suggests I can now eat 3,433 calories and still lose weight. Now, there are 2 things wrong with this. 1, the process of losing weight and the management of your daily energy balance isn't quite as simple as this. And 2, The calorie expenditure it says you burned during any exercise won't be accurate. So please don't use MyFitnessPal to track your exercise, as if you always eat more on the days you train like it suggests you can, you'll never actually make any real progress. You should only be using MyFitnessPal to track your nutrition and water intake. So moving on to how you actually do this, first let's look at adding some water. There are two ways you can do this. Firstly, by clicking on the plus button in the middle and then selecting water. From here, you simply either type in how much water you drink or select one of the preset amounts and then click the tick in the top right corner to save. Or if you click on the food diary along the bottom, scroll right down and click on add water, and then again you'll see this same screen. You add food in exactly the same way, but when you click the plus button followed by food, you'll then need to select which meal you want to add your food to. Then either use the barcode scanner or manually search for your foods, which I'm going to be showing how to do both in a minute, and then add that food to that particular meal. And then again, just like with water, you can also click on food diary along the bottom. From here to add food, all you need to do is click on add food for the relevant meal, and again, either use the barcode scanner or manual search for the item. But before I show you how to do either of those, one other thing I want to show you is how to change the days that you're adding food to. So you can either click on the side arrows here at the top of the page to go backwards or forwards a day, click on where it says today and select a day from the wheel choices, or you can simply swipe left and swipe right on the screen again to go forwards or backwards. So when it comes to actually adding your food, there are two ways you can do this. The easiest way, and the way I'd recommend you do it, is by scanning the barcode of the product or the item you have. Not only is this the easiest way, but it's also the most accurate, as you then know you're definitely adding the correct information. So if I just grab a protein bar and scan it, you'll see that it's found the right product and has come up with all of the nutritional information here across the top. Once you've checked the information is correct and it's the right product, the next thing you need to do is just adjust the serving size and number of servings to match what you actually consume. So this was a 60-gram bar and it's pre-populated that it's one serving, but let's pretend I had two of these. So to change that, I'd simply change the 1 to a 2, and then it will change all the nutritional values accordingly. The same happens if I then change the serving size. So let's scan something else to show you how that works. This time I'm going to scan a yogurt. You can see here it automatically comes up with 100 grams, but I might have actually had 250 grams. So to change this, I need to click on the 100 grams, and you'll see here it's coming up with the following options: 1 gram, 450 grams, and 1 ounce. As you can see, there isn't an option for 250, but that doesn't matter. All I need to do instead is select 1 gram and then go back and change the serving size to 250. Doesn't matter which variable you choose, just make sure that the overall serving is exactly what you've actually had. Below this you can see there is an option to change the meal that you're then adding this meal to if you need to change it. Once you've changed the serving information accordingly, you then just need to click the tick and it will add the item to your diary. The other way you can add items is by manually searching for them. Although this can be a little more time consuming, it's obviously very useful if you're eating anything that is fresh produce or if there isn't any packaging for you to scan. To do this, again you click on add food for the relevant meal, and then at the top of the page in the search bar, you just simply type the item of food you're having. A little tip here is to always include the brand name or supermarket chain where you purchased it from, so you get more accurate search results with more accurate nutritional values. Otherwise you could end up seeing results from all over the world with completely different nutritional values. So let's say I had some sweet potatoes from my local greengrocers. Of course their nutritional information isn't going to be on MyFitnessPal. So rather than just typing in sweet potatoes, I'd also add in the name of a big chain supermarket such as Asda. Personally, I'd always suggest you use one of the main supermarket chains such as Asda, Tesco, Morrison's, etc., as pretty much every one of their items is included on the MyFitnessPal database. I'd then simply find the search result that best matches what I actually had. So you can see here at the top, it says Asda 100 grams of sweet potatoes. All I need to do is edit and change the serving size and number of servings accordingly, and then click the tick to save. I'll just show you now what happens if you don't include the brand name or supermarket chain. So if I just type in sweet potatoes, you'll see loads of different options appear that aren't recognisable and could be from anywhere in the world. And if I click on any of these, there is an increased chance that the nutritional values aren't going to be accurate. So just to recap, you can either click on the plus button to add food and water, or do so from the food diary page itself. Whichever option you choose though, there are two ways you can then actually add items. either by scanning the item's barcode or manually searching for the product itself. Just remember to always edit and change the serving sizes to match what you actually have. So each day, you simply work your way through each meal and snack, adding everything that you consume. And if I just swipe right and show you what a full day would actually look like, as you can see, every item has its corresponding nutritional values shown next to it to the right. If I scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see there is a comparison between what I actually consume and my daily targets. Looking at this information will always help you better plan for future days and future meals, so you can better manage your macronutrients and adjust your calories accordingly. Once all of your meals are complete, scroll down to the bottom and click Complete Diary. It will then come up with a prediction of what your body weight would be if you were consistently like this every single day. But please take this with a pinch of salt, as there are so many different variables that actually would affect this figure. Now that I've covered the basic functionality of MyFitnessPal, let's go through some questions and scenarios that you may encounter and what you can do to help make the entire process much more time efficient. So one question I always get is, what do you do when you eat a meal from a restaurant or takeaway? First, you should try searching for exactly what you've had. You'll be surprised at how many restaurants and food outlets actually have their nutritional information on MyFitnessPal already. For example, if I had a lasagna from Ask Italian, and then I type in lasagna followed by Ask, you can see it's there already, so I can just add this as one portion to my diary. But if you can't find what you're looking for, then what you should do is think of a large well-known restaurant or pub chain that also sells a similar meal, and add that to represent a generic example of what you've eaten. So let's say I had sausage and mash from a local restaurant that isn't on MyFitnessPal. In the manual search bar, I'd enter sausage and mash, followed by a well-known pub chain such as Hungry Horse. Pub chains are a great option to add, as they generally have a widespread variety of meals in the MyFitnessPal database. As you can see here, they've got a Lincolnshire sausage and mash option, so I can now click on that and add that one portion to my diary. Of course, the nutritional values won't ever be accurate, but at least it will give me an estimate of what I've consumed, so I can know roughly how many calories and macros I've got remaining for the rest of the day. Another question you might have is how to add foods and meals quicker if you have the same things every single day. Well, there are two ways you can actually speed this up. Firstly, when you click on the Add Food button, you'll see underneath the search bar here, it shows a history of the most recent items you've added. So if you're always adding the same foods and meals every single day, they should automatically appear here with the most recent serving information already preset. But there is also a second way that is even quicker. You can actually create and save your own meals. So let's say you always have the same 3 items for breakfast every single day. You can save all of these individual items together as a single meal, so in the future, all you need to do is add one single meal as opposed to individually adding these 3 items. So if I swipe right and go back to yesterday, let's say I always have this breakfast every single day. If I click on the 3 dots to the bottom right of breakfast and then click on Save Meal, this will group all 3 of these ingredients and their respective servings together as one meal. All I then need to do is enter a name for this, so let's call this Everyday Breakfast and then click Save. So now let's fast forward 2 days and pretend I want to add this same breakfast again. All I need to do now is go to My Meals, select Everyday Breakfast and then click the tick. As you can see, all of those ingredients have now been added in just one click. This little tip will save you so much time if you regularly eat the same food day in, day out. This is also how you can make it easier to add any home cooked recipe that includes a lot of different ingredients too. For example, a lasagna. Add all of the different ingredients for the first time, such as lasagna sheets, the mince, the sauces, the cheese, etc., and then save it as a meal for future use. Whilst you could always add a pub example, like I showed you earlier, this would only ever give you a rough estimate of your actual intake. And when it comes to transforming your physique, the more accurate you can be with your food tracking, the more progress you will see. There's just one more thing I'd like to show you, and that is how to remove foods from a meal. On the food diary page, all you need to do is press and hold an item or ingredient for a second and then slide slowly to the left. This will bring up a red delete button to the right hand side that you then just need to click. And I just want to finish with a personal recommendation that if you follow will massively help your nutritional adherence and help you achieve much greater results in the long term. Rather than tracking your food and drink reactively, i.e. after you've eaten something or at the end of the day, as much as possible try to track your foods in advance. That way, you'll be less likely to forget anything, and you'll be also in a better position to be able to adjust future portion sizes and change meal ideas, so that regardless of birthdays, social events and family meals, you'll always be able to stay within your daily calorie and macronutrient guidelines.